Today, I want to talk about something deeply personal for me that is widely misunderstood and incredibly important: the connection between neurodivergency and mental health. When we hear the phrase mental health, many of us think about anxiety, depression, stress, or burnout. When we hear neurodivergency, we may think about conditions like ADHD, autism, dyslexia, OCD, Tourette syndrome, or sensory processing differences. But what people often miss is this: neurodivergency and mental health are connected. Not because neurodivergent people are broken, but because living in a world that isn't designed for your brain can affect your emotional well-being. And that distinction matters. Neurodivergency is not a disease, it's a different way the brain works. Mental health struggles, however, can develop when someone constantly feels misunderstood, unsupported, isolated, or pressured to fit into systems that don't meet their needs. I want to begin with an I statement. I sometimes feel exhausted trying to act like everything is easy when my brain is working twice as hard just to keep up. This feeling is common for many neurodivergent people. Imagine going through school, work, friendships, or even family life constantly hearing things like, "Why can't you focus? You're too sensitive. You talk too much. You're lazy. You're weird. You just need to try harder." Over time, those messages can become internalized, and when someone spends years believing they are failing at being normal, mental health challenges can grow. Anxiety can develop from constantly overthinking social interactions. Depression can grow from feeling isolated or misunderstood. Burnout can happen from masking, which means hiding neurodivergent traits to fit in. Masking is something many neurodivergent people experience every single day. It might look like forcing eye contact even when it feels uncomfortable, pretending loud environments are manageable, rehearsing conversations ahead of time, hiding stimming behaviors, constantly monitoring every word and action to avoid judgment. I sometimes feel like people only accept me when I hide the parts of myself that are natural to me. That emotional pressure can be overwhelming. And here's the important part. Many neurodivergent people are not struggling because of who they are. They are struggling because of how society responds to who they are. There's a huge difference. For example, someone with ADHD may not struggle because they are incapable or unintelligent. They may struggle because schools and workplaces often reward one very specific type of attention, organization, and productivity. An autistic person may not struggle because they lack emotion. They may struggle because social expectations are confusing, exhausting, or inconsistent. A person with a dyslexia may not struggle because they are less capable. They may struggle because traditional learning systems don't accommodate how they process information. When support is missing, mental health often suffers. And unfortunately, many neurodivergent people grow up believing they are too much or not enough. That constant self-monitoring can create shame. I sometimes question my own worth because I compare myself to standards that were never built for me in the first place. Now, I also want to emphasize something hopeful. Understanding neurodivergency can improve mental health dramatically. When people finally discover why they think differently, many experience relief instead of shame. An ADHD diagnosis might explain years of frustration. An autism diagnosis might explain sensory overwhelm or social exhaustion. Learning accommodations might transform school experiences. Therapy tailored to neurodivergent needs can help people build confidence instead of forcing conformity. Self-understanding changes things, because once someone realizes my brain works differently, they can stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" That shift can be life-changing. Support systems matter too. Mental health improves when neurodivergent people are accepted instead of judged. That acceptance can come from teachers, family members, therapists, co-workers, or friends. Sometimes support looks small. Giving someone extra processing time, respecting sensory needs, allowing movement breaks, using clear communication, listening without assumptions. Those actions may seem simple, but they communicate something powerful. You do not have to earn your right to be understood. And honestly, everyone benefits when we create environments that are more flexible and compassionate, because neurodivergent people bring incredible strengths too: creativity, innovation, deep focus, honesty, pattern recognition, passion, empathy, unique problem solving. Many artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, and leaders are neurodivergent. Different does not mean less, it means different. But even with strengths, neurodivergent people are still human beings who need support, rest, connection, and mental health care. And one of the most important things we can do is normalize conversations about both neurodivergency and emotional well-being. Because too many people suffer silently. Some people spend years believing they're lazy when they're actually overwhelmed. Some believe they're antisocial when they're actually masking exhaustion. Some believe they are failing when they are actually unsupported. I feel more confident when people try to understand me instead of trying to fix me. That mindset is powerful. Understanding creates compassion. Compassion creates support. Support improves mental health. So, as we end today, I want to leave you with this. Neurodivergent people do not need to become someone else to deserve respect, care, or belonging. Mental health challenges are real, but they are not signs of weakness. Many of those challenges can be reduced when people are given understanding, accommodations, and acceptance instead of judgment. Whether you are neurodivergent yourself or someone who wants to support others, remember this: listening matters, kindness matters, flexibility matters, and feeling seen matters. Because when people are allowed to exist as themselves instead of constantly pretending to be someone else, mental health has room to improve.